Hello, coming in with another report of our geoengineering, weather manipulation. And if you don't like these videos or don't believe it and think Mother Nature is doing all this, then by all means, just click away right now. I wanted to stop this. This is on Zulu time, so it always seems to go a day ahead. But this right here is showing the radiation frequency that they sent out, and you can see it because the lines are curved and there's this digitation um, on the map. I'm going to, whenever I see it here, I like to also go over and check the California map because you can usually get a better identification of what's happening. And sure enough, today I remember looking up and seeing the clouds, and they were making that interesting, unusually um, non-natural pattern where it looked like waffle patterns. So let me just go ahead and run this really slowly for you. I just happened to catch that, so I thought it was important to record it and share it. And there it is again. Um, because I think once you start to learn how to look at the anomalies on the weather map, you'll start to see why the weather is not natural anymore and how the HARP and the 5G and all this work together with the chemicals in the sky to make the weather do what it does. So watch this again slowly and you'll see what happens. And I'm going to zoom into another frame to show you. There's that neat line that came down. That's also identification of hitting with the radiation. And it's really easy to see this when you zoom in, when you zoom out. We're looking so close to the Hawaiian Islands that it's hard to see it. So I want to just step forward a couple frames. Okay, you see right here, the same thing that we saw in the hurricane when it was doing weird stuff is coming up again in this frame. And you have to consider that our skies, if they've been spraying whatever you want to call it, aerosol, chemically enhanced aerosol cloud formations. They call it soot or soot. And they've been doing this for, since the 1970s, that the air is filled with a lot of heavy metals. I still believe strongly this is a correlation to those who have fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue, and no one can figure out why. This is part of the reason why, what we're breathing in. And unfortunately, there's nowhere you can go. You can't run away because they're doing it to the entire planet. So you just learn to deal with it and to make your immune system better. And I don't believe there's an agenda to try to kill the population, because in the big scheme of things, there's a lot more land and there's a lot more energy available than the population. And the people who have this elitist feeling, they're so greedy that they don't want to ever lose money. And so if half the population was gone, who would help fatten their, you know, pockets by buying things that we don't need? Anyways, that's my theory. But that's just a theory. All right, let's go back to California. Let's go here, and let's go. The internet is running so slow. I know there's some 5G locations on our island, but that's another joke. 5G speeding up our internet. Really? Because it still goes really slow for me at our school, at my home, everything. Okay, so as you can see, I went to the low clouds. You can see it on low clouds, you can see it on infrared, and you can usually see it on visible. And I like to run instant. And then, of course, you have to slow it down because the way they hit the areas with the radiation happens so fast that if you don't slow this down frame for frame, you won't be able to catch it. And I see a lot of trails in the sky, Northern California. Sorry for all of you in Northern California. I couldn't live there. I mean, you think they spray here? Oh, they spray so much worse in Northern California. So definitely you can see the horizontal lines showing up here just in this frame. Let's see if it'll still play. Let's see what we can catch down here. And honestly, it's not like they're trying to hide it. I mean, I think they feel that, and most people think that me, oh yeah, and other friends are just crazy that look at this. But let me just pause this right here. Okay, take a look at this. That is not normal cloud formation. I mean, that just doesn't make a lot of sense at all. And all over. So when that happens, when you see this, that is identification that they've hit the whole area with the EMF radiation. Yes, it's so sci-fi and it's so bizarre, but you start watching it long enough, you realize there's some strange stuff going on in our skies. Oh, there it is. Found it. Okay, see right there? You can see the rings. So, it's so obvious. Like I said, they don't even try to hide it. And they're not going to explain this to you. So you would say, well, oh gosh, Christina, isn't that just a glitch? And I'd be like, interesting. So it's a glitch on this map, but then it's also a glitch on the map of Hawaii and that radar, which is, over and to the left. And then we could find it again, perhaps on the East Coast, and there'd be a glitch there. Well, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying these are glitches, but you can see when it hits, this would explain why the clouds do that funny thing that they do. I mean, and if you ever go outside and you watch it, watch one day. Watch when you see the clouds. It'll be kind of this hazy, kind of like stringy stuff when they've laid the chemical enhancement, the aerosol spray into the sky. And then after that, watch. I'm just going to go back real quick so you can see the difference. There it is. There it is there. Then, watch what happens to the clouds. And usually they make that funky shape and then they spread out. So I don't know the purpose of why they hit the radiation unless they're trying to move things or shift things. But in all due respect, they've gotten really good at this. Whatever they're doing, why they're doing it, what the agenda is behind it, I don't know. Over the years of me being an avid cloud watcher and just fascinated with meteorology to the point where I thought I wanted to become a meteorologist, I pay attention to this stuff. And being a surfer, living in Florida, I always paid attention to the jet stream and I paid attention to hurricanes because that was our surf in Florida. And so it has become more strange and more peculiar over the years. And this has been the strangest I have seen ever. So there you have it. You see when it hits it again, watch this, coming up right about now. Oh, not yet. I spoke too soon. Right about now. And then it goes away. Okay, very strange, huh? Let's go and see if there's anything strange on Mimic, because if it's happening on this map, sure enough it's happening on the Mimic. So let's take a look. Oh, yep, you can see the two rings right there. I don't know if you saw that, but let's see how far they're going back today. They're starting on the 22nd. I'm sorry, that might not have been accurate timing. That right there, that last frame was on, see, they're going all the way to 25 and stopping, which is interesting because we are on the 27th, 28th. So I wonder why they're 2 days behind. Let me see if I can refresh this. Here we go, 25. Okay, I just had to refresh it, my bad. So let's take a look here. See if anything strange is coming up. Something happening there. You can see this weird band up there by California, mid to Southern California. And then when the band hits, you see how the weather pattern changes, and that's very interesting. Let's take a look at a whole. Nothing too obviously weird like what we saw last time, which is good because I don't really feel like editing this video. Let's look at the whole map and see what's going on there. Let's see, okay, it's on the 25th. Let's take a look. see just a little white blurb over here near the bottom part of Australia. Oh, they did pull up one line of the white. When was that? Let's look at the time. That was about 27. Looks like it was about sometime this evening, but it's on Zulu time, so they're a day ahead of us, or a few hours ahead. Let's see. Interesting. Nothing too weird. A couple arcs at the bottom here. Definitely some arcs between Africa and South America. You see those at the bottom. If you watch those, you'll see the arcs that come up. Let's see what's happening up here. See any arcs on the California? No arcs, but there's definitely something peculiar happening right around California. Let me zoom in. You can take a look. And we looked at it closer, but that's very strange. You see the glitch, so to speak, and then you see the weather pattern just completely change. So I don't know what their plan is here. I'll be interesting to see and watch what Pacific Redwood sees on his satellites that he looks at. And I encourage you to subscribe to his channel and listen to him. I've been listening to him for, I might say, a year now, and he really explains what's going on in these bizarre patterns. He's yet to use these maps here that I use, and I would love it if he is listening by chance, because these maps are great. You can see right here, all those are ship track trails. That's chemtrails. There's no way clouds do that. It doesn't make any sense. And then I would love for him to talk about, let me move on. See if I can get that frame again, where I think it was, nope, I am wrong. I want to get that frame, and I really would like Pacific Redwood 1. Oh wow, just take a look at just all of those chemical trail clouds, chemically enhanced aerosolic sprayed clouds. Okay, here we go. I would like it, Pacific Redwood 1, if you happen to be listening to my very amateur videos about this. Can you explain that? You know, I know you talk about a lot of stuff. We all know that the weather is being manipulated, but I really want you to share with our viewers this here. So we know what happened there, and we know what happened in the Hawaii feed. That would be very interesting. Okay, that's enough for tonight. Thanks so much for watching. Keep an eye out on this new hurricane, and let's pay attention to see if it's going to be a real hurricane or an